How y'all doing today? Today's topic of discussion is going to be don't forget about the now. Don't forget about the now. I thought about this topic in regards to previous topics where I'm talking about setting your long-term goals, your short-term goals. You're looking to the future in certain things. And in my book, Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication, I'm referring to thinking about your past in regards to knowing where your pitfalls were so you can avoid those and garnering experience from your past. But one thing I want you to remember is not to forget about the now. It's fine to think about where you came from so you can learn some life lessons from those instances. And it's great to think about the future. What matters though is what you're doing now. Your now determines how you've grown, how you've changed from things that you've done in the past. Your now is the way that you work towards doing better things for the future. So your now is very important. Your now is the most important. That's one of the reasons why I've talked about making sure you don't get so wrapped up in your emotions for the now, to be able to think about the future. So you put that emphasis on the present of everything that's going on at the time when it's going on. So you're just not acting out of what feels natural, flawed reactions that feel natural because you're accustomed to reacting to, or getting caught up in emotions because that's what feels good. Now, you want to have your eyes set beyond the time frame that you're currently calling in. Talking about for these actions. You don't want to get into a situation where you're so focused on the now that it messes up things in the long term. So it's a bit of a juggling act on everything that you're doing. Out of all three time frames, the now is the most important. But in the now, or in this present sense, you do have to kind of keep one eye on where you came from, divvying up that time to where you would like to head, and you have to keep that other eye on what's going on now. Being sure to not lose focus in that, because with your the present time frame that you're in, that's all you could do is control what you're in now. But it can also set you up for things down the road. So you want to take this time seriously. You want to do what you can in this time. That's another reason why I consistently talk about reevaluating your goals, reevaluating things that you like and you dislike, because and going against change versus convenience, because all of this is happening here in this small moment, this small window that you have, which is today. So when you're doing this, you're either making things harder for yourself down the road, or you're setting up to make things potentially easier. So, and also another side to this topic here is some people can be too caught up in the now to the standpoint of they're not worried about where they came from. They're not worried about where they're headed. They're just worried about just getting to the next day. So this can kind of lead to a reckless attitude of just, I'm just going to think about today. I'm not going to even, try to plan or do anything. Everything just boils down to today. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that either. You want to strike this perfect balance. And like I stated, that perfect balance is the big majority of the piece of the puzzle is you are concerned about what's going on today, because that's what you have control over. You don't have control over what's happened in the past, and you don't really know the future. But in what's going on today, your actions, the things that you say, the way that you treat people, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you love yourself, these have lasting impacts upon it. So you want to think about the next day in regards to caring about what's going on today. Think about it. I've heard in the past, some people have that saying of, I just live today like it's my last day. And when you think about that, that doesn't make any sense. If you were living today like it was your last day, why would it be any sense in doing anything for the next day? Why would it be any sense of doing any sort of favor or doing any sort of good deed for someone down the road? If everybody was living as if today was the last day, think about how selfish that would be. It would never be any reason to do anything other than what you had to. It would just be living in the moment and the convenience of now. So even with what I'm saying about, focusing with the now, I'm trying to give you a little bit more to think about in regards to taking a little bit from that past. As you notice, everything that I'm referring to something positive. When you're taking things up from that past that you're thinking about on how you cannot repeat those instances from the past. You're thinking about how to avoid those pitfalls, but letting go of that anguish and that hurt. If it is anguish and hurt, think about ways that you could avoid that, the things that you can control. When you're thinking about the future, think about ways that you could better your future. Take all of that stuff into consideration and then focus on today. Don't do it to a degree to where you're stressing in either direction. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across. When I'm talking about it's a juggling act between all three of these time frames here, but yet really being focused up on today. Because think about it, if you just waste today and you just shoot the breeze or whatnot, then when it comes to tomorrow, yesterday was a bust. So how many days do you want that was a bust, that was a waste of time before it's then ate up your future? That's all I wanted to share with you today. My name's Ayin. I've written a book, Ayin Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication. I will leave a link in the description box. You can get it on Amazon in paperback or an ebook copy. Till next time, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.